Shabbat Shalom. I think that says that we're excited to be here.
I think so too.
This is such a beautiful morning. The sun is shining, and the sun is shining for a very important reason, because this morning is Mackenzie's bat mitzvah. We have waited a long time for this day, and it is finally here. It is finally time to celebrate Makenzie, to celebrate her success this morning, and to celebrate being together. How important it is, how much we appreciate being together more than ever before. And so I have a request, and I really do mean it. I want you to take your cell phone out. I mean it. Nobody ever listens to me when they do this. Well, they can't believe that I would be asking.
When you ask the second time, they do.
What?
It always takes
When I ask the second time. Take a look at it. You usually think it's on vibrate or silent, and about 20% of you, it actually is not. So make sure it is on vibrate or silent or even off. We do not allow photography or videography during the service because for so often we are looking at our screens. We are paying attention to what's going on in some of us who are working, our email, our text. For those of us who are social media people, we are paying attention to so much rather than what is going on right in front of us. Abraham Joshua Heschel, great 20th century philosopher, taught that the holiest thing in the world is time. And so this morning we offer the holiest thing in the world to Makenzie, and that is our time. Our presence is our gift. And so we put our cell phones away for the service, and we can take them out again at the luncheon and take lots of pictures and selfies and post them, whatever is your favorite current platform. So it is now my pleasure to invite forward Makenzie and her family, to invite forward Makenzie and her sisters, Mia and Maddie. Maddie is currently taking care, you can bring her up, it's okay, because I think she's attached to you. Taking care of a little friend. and Matt and Danielle and Eric, because we are going to start this morning with Shehechianu. Shehechianu is a prayer that thanks God for getting to this special moment, for this really incredible moment in Mackenzie's life, in the life of her family, and in all who love her. We sing Shehechianu together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. Amen.
This morning, Makenzie will be leading us in prayer and song. She'll be reading from the Torah, offering some speeches. And so this morning, it's my pleasure to ask her to lead us in prayer as we begin our service.
We begin on page 67. I entered this sacred space to voice the longings of my heart in prayer. In sacred company, I offer my love to the Holy One. I devote myself this morning to psalm and song, study and prayer. May my heart be lifted, may my thoughts be deepened, and may my soul like the eagle soar. Please turn to page 68 for our opening song, Moda Ani.
Moda Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechezarta bi nishmati b'chemla, b'chemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha, Modani lefanecha, Melech chai v'kayam, shehechezarta bi nishmati b'chemla, b'chemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha.
Please rise as able for Baruch Hu on page 108. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed.
We continue on page 110. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer or uvorei choshe Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol Hameir la'aretz Vladarim alecha barachamim uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit Marabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chochma asita Mal'a ha'aretz kinyanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha ve'al me'orei or she'asita yafarucha sela or hadash al zion ta'ir v'niskeh kulanu mecheira le'orot Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. Praised are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy you will illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness your daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom you form them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMe'orot. Please turn to page 113. Once or twice in a lifetime, a man or woman may choose a radical leaving having heard Lech Lecha, go forth. God disturbs us towards our destiny by hard events and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai, Chabocher ba'amo Yisrael bashol. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated.
You want Deb to start it?
Yeah.
Ve'ahavta את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day, and press them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. We continue on page 121. Emet. There is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness there is your word. Emet. That pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way, true and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice. Please turn to page 124 and rise for the tefillah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagivor v'Hanara El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim,
וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מחלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסירים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממיץ ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
We continue with Kiddush on page 130.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישביענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד כאן לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד כאן לך. ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד כל לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד כל לך. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue singing on page 132.
מלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת, כולם יספרו ויתענגו מטובך השבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, v'kol re'onei Shabbat. Uvashvi'i ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat. Chemdat yamim oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'kol re'onei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'kol re'onei Shabbat. Zecher lema'aseh v'reishit Shabbat. Zecher lema'aseh v'reishit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'kol re'onei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'kol re'onei Shabbat.
So we turn now to page 135, and it is my pleasure to invite Sue and Spence Wold to come forward to offer this reading.
We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for Sabbath holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in the darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God.
Baruch atah Adonai L'Days HaShabbat.
And we turn now to page 137, and it's my pleasure to invite Hallie Klein and Michael Wald to come forward.
Okay. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayers. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence.
Baruch atah Adonai she'adecha levadecha b'yirah na'od. We continue on page 139. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, Modim Anachnu Lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunset and seasons, Modim Anachnu Lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim Anachnu Lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, Modim Anachnu Lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, Modim Anachnu Lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, Modim Anachnu Lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, Modim Anachnu Lach. We pray that we may not live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our deeds not by our words, but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulcha na'eh le'odot.
So what Makenzie just read is an interpretation of a prayer of thanks. And so now Makenzie will share her own prayer of thanks.
Dear God, I am thankful for my mom and my dad because they are the reason I'm here. I'm even grateful for my sisters. I'm grateful for Maddie for teaching me so much and being a role model. And I'm thankful for Mia because I get to show off how amazing I am to her. I like having my sisters to talk to and have around all the time. I am grateful for Matt, especially right now. He makes things a lot better and easier as a father figure. I'm thankful for my dad. I feel like we are alike and he is really special to me. I'm grateful for my Aunt Tracy because she's always there for me and it's easy to talk to her. When I'm with my cousins, I forget about everything else. I'm grateful for my Aunt Christine because she's easy to talk to and is so much fun. I'm thankful for all of my grandparents. Having them around to give me advice and be there for me is really special. I have two very close friends, Ava and Kyrie, who are important to me. They always know when to cheer me up and be there for me. I have a dog named Ollie who's a big comfort to me. I am so proud of myself for coming through so much, especially in the past year with how much I have had to deal with. It's not been an easy time for me. I'm glad to be standing here today to have something to celebrate. Please turn to page 140 for Sim Shalom.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim, v'rachamim. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Am echad. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha.
We continue on page 141. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the people of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praise are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We take a moment for personal silent prayer.
Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We turn now to Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of the Torah. You can find it on page 245 in your prayer book. This morning, I had already mentioned that Makenzie is going to read from the Torah. Makenzie will also be passed the Torah, and she will receive the Torah generation to generation to generation. This morning, Makenzie is so blessed to have one of her great-grandmothers here, and so she will receive the Torah from her great-grandmother. And so when you hear your name, come and stand in the front, because we're going to pass the Torah generation to generation, and then we will pass the Torah throughout the congregation in a processional. So first, great-grandmother Helen Pergami, and then grandparents Sue and Dean Work, Lori Bruder and Tom Gerson, Beverly and Chuck Cicero, and parents Mark Weinberger. Sorry, I missed a grandparent there. Lots of grandparents. Mark Weinberger, and then parents Eric Work and Danielle and Matt Cicero. To come, and we practiced, so Deb, they should be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, they practiced, they did a great job.
They won't be on camera.
Yep. We might have to slide down a little bit more this way, because there's a lot of them. Yep. Makenzie, you're not down there yet. You got work to do up here. You got to work for your passing of the Torah. All right. And then to open the ark at the appropriate time, I'm going to have you come up the ramp over here. I'd like to invite some of those cousins you talked about, Dominic, Kylie, and Audrina DeFord, and Jocelyn Weinberger. Come on up over here. Okay. Dominic's not here, but he's here in spirit. Come on up all the way up here. And you're going to stand right up here. And when I tell you, you're going to open the ark. Kenzie, go ahead.
Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God.
L'dor vador nagid kod lecha. L'dor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation. L'dor vador these lips will praise your name. L'dor vador nagid kod lecha. L'dor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation. L'dor vador these lips will praise your name. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah. בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה, והמתנשא לכל ראש. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. נריע נריע לצור ישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה. נריע נריע לצור ישנו, לקדמה בריאה לו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. עבדו את השם בשמחה, עבדו את השם בשמחה. בואו לפניו ברננה, לפניו ברננה. יאללה 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 יאללה.
Where do you want it? Maybe up a little more. Up a little more. Go ahead, check it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. So for the honor of the first Aliyah, it is my pleasure to invite forward Danielle and Matt, Danielle Weinberger, Danielle and Matt Cicero. Okay. Matt's like. It does. Correct.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Bacharbanu Mikol Ha'amim, Ve'natan Lanu Et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe Lemor. Daber el Bnei Yisrael be'amarta alehem ani Adonai Elohehem. Kema'aseh Eretz Mitzrayim asher yashavtem ba lo ta'asu uchma'aseh Eretz Canaan asher ani mevi etchem shama lo ta'asu uvkuchotehem lo telechu.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet, V'chaye Olam Nata B'tochei. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. For the honor of the second Aliyah, we call forward your sister, Maddie, and one of your grandparents, Mark Weinberg.
We do this part. That part.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Asher ani mevi etchem shama lo ta'asu. Oh, I did this already.
It's okay.
Et mishpatai ta'asu ve'et hukotai tishmeru lalechet v'chem ani Adonai Elohechem Ushmartem et Hako Hukotai Mishpatai Asher Ya'aseh Otam Ha'adamah V'chai V'chem Ani Adonai Ish El Kol Sha'er V'saru Lo Tikrabu Laga Lo Ervat Ani Adonai
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. For the honor of the third Aliyah, Habachorah, Habat Mitzvah, we call forward Makenzie Work.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Ambarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Ervat abicha ve'ervat imcha lo tigale imcha hi lo tigale ervat. Ervat esha abicha lo tigale ervat abicha hi. Ervat achotcha bat abicha O Batimecha, Moledet Bayit, O Moledet, Chot La Tigale Ervatan. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet. V'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. You can sit down. I'm going to do the music prayer. So we have turned to Torah as a faith community for thousands of years for strength, and so we do so this morning as we turn to our Misha Berach prayer, our prayer for healing, which can be found in the middle of page 253, as we, in our heart, think of all of those whom we love who are struggling, whether it be physical illness, whether it be life struggles, whether it be mental illness, and we hold them in our heart as we share and sing together our prayer for healing.
Makor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Makor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
It's my pleasure at this time to invite Tracy DeFord to come forward. She's going to dress the Torah, and to invite Christine Corbacero. She is going to lift the Torah up high. It is our custom to make sure that everyone can see what it is that Makenzie just read so beautifully. This is called Hagba, and it literally just means to lift up high. It sounds so fancy. So please rise as able. Okay. And I'm here to help you out.
Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yalla lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
Please be seated. It's customary on Shabbat morning to offer not one but two scriptural passages, and so this morning Makenzie is going to offer a second passage from the book of Ezekiel. A long time ago, the rabbis were a little worried that we might only be reading from the 5 books of Moses, Genesis through Deuteronomy, and so they connected two passages. They connected the books of prophets to the 5 books of Moses, and so we have a second passage called Haftarah, not half of the Torah, but Haftarah, a dismissal passage. And so first she'll offer the blessings found on page 254, and you can find the Haftarah in your order of service. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu Asher bachar V'im tovim v'ratzah v'divreihem hane'emarin be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'b'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayahi Devar Adonai Eli Lamor. Ben Adam Hayuli Beit Yisrael Lasig Kulam Nechoshet Uvdil Uvarzel Ve'oferet Betoch Kor Sigim Kesech Hayu Lachain Kol Amar Adonai Elohim Ya'an Ha'od Kohem Lasigim Lahain Hinani Kol Beitz Etchem El Toch Yerushalayim.
Great. Blessing.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Suer kol haolamim Chadik v'chol chadorot Ha'el ha'neman Ha'omer uve'oseh Ha'medaber u'mekayem Shekol devarav emet b'tzedek Al ha'torah Ve'al ha'avodah Ve'al ha'nevi'im Ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh Shanatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu Likdoshav v'limnucha Lechavod otis haaretz Al ha'kol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu modim la Barachim otam Yitbarach Shemha Befi kol chai Tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mechadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
So in addition to leading the service, reading from Torah, and reading from Haftarah, Makenzie has prepared a speech to teach us about her Torah portion and the meaning of this day.
My Torah portion is about how the Israelites were told to live a certain way, and they weren't allowed to learn from any other practice or live any other way of life other than what they were expected to do. The other half of my portion is about forbidden relationships between relatives. This portion shows real-world problems and talks about them. It teaches you to live your life individually and not be pressured by other people to live differently. The rules about relationships teach the boundaries that should be respected by everybody. The first part of this portion matters to me because it teaches me to live my life as an individual and not try to do something because everyone else is doing it, but to do things for myself. My bat mitzvah is important to me because it makes me feel closer to my religion and better understand it. It has helped me learn important skills such as public speaking and being able to know another language. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Just about, not quite, almost. Can I tell them you just asked that?
Sure.
Okay. So we're having a little conversation here, and she keeps asking me, am I done? And I keep saying almost. So we are turning to page 256 to return the Torah to the Ark. I would like to invite forward Sue and Dean Work, Eric Work, and Teresa Pergami to open the Ark at the appropriate time. Come forward, please. You can leave your prayer books at your seat. Come and stand right here for just a moment. You're going to come stand right up here. Congregation is going to turn to page 256. Please rise as able.
Yahalalu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted.
Bring this with you.
Vayarem keren le'amo Tehila, tehila lecho chasitav Livnei Yisrael am grovo Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Go ahead.
God's Torah guiding the soul. God's teaching is sure, making wise the simple. God's precepts are right, delighting the mind. God's mitzvah are clear, giving light to the eyes. God's word is pure and enduring forever. God's judgments are true and altogether just.
Eitz chayim lemachazaikim ba v'tomecheha meushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
You may be seated. Sorry, we were talking, I forgot. So, Makenzie, now you get to just stand here. You don't have to say anything, okay? We have a lot of presentations for you. First, I get a chance to talk to you a little bit about how proud we are of you. I told you at the rehearsal the other day that I would say nice things to you, I promised. So I do promise to say nice things to you. This has been an extraordinarily long journey, and there's a lot of reasons for it, and it's not been an easy year for you. But you were given a lot of opportunities to say, I'm done, I'm not going to do this, and yet you did it. And you were given a lot of opportunities to say, I don't want to read that prayer. I don't want to read that prayer. I want this to not be so hard. And yet you did it. And you did a beautiful job. You should be very proud of yourself. Very, very proud of yourself. Because even though we delayed a number of times, you still did everything and did everything beautifully. And I want you to know that that is pretty spectacular. And it says something about who you are when you make a decision, which is, I think, something we all know, that once Makenzie decides, there's sort of no stopping her. I also know that you have a pretty great brain. And this wasn't the hardest for you. What's hardest for you is just being up here. And that was probably the biggest hurdle, just being in front of people and getting past. You don't even want to look at them right now. Nope. Just being up here and looking at people and knowing there are people here and doing the public speaking part. The learning part probably wasn't that hard for you. So you overcame some pretty significant fears. And you did it here in the sanctuary, in a sacred space. There aren't a lot of safe spaces in the world anymore. I hope and pray that you know that this is a safe space. And when you have big hurdles to overcome, that you can come here and work on them. Because this is safe space. And I hope and pray that when you need to feel proud of yourself so you can take a next step, you can close your eyes and think of this and know you can do it. You can do that. Even though you won't look at them, they're all really proud of you. Really, really proud of you. Last night at services, I taught something that I had just learned. This week's Torah portion is pretty tough. It's very weird, as you said. It's a weird Torah portion, but it leads into one of the most beautiful Torah portions, what's called the Holiness Code. And one commentator teaches that this is actually the beginning of the Holiness Code. This is the beginning of what it means to follow in God's ways, because it's weird and hard. And if we're willing to step outside our comfort zone and study this Torah portion, all the more so are we setting ourselves aside for holiness. Makenzie, you've done that today, and I hope you're incredibly proud of yourself, as we are of you. It's my tradition to invite our bar and bat mitzvah celebrants before the open ark. You can actually remain seated and offer a private blessing for her. And I hope that you will think of blessings and hopes and wishes and dreams for Makenzie and share them with her today at the luncheon. And take a moment to not only have a really good time, but also share special hopes and dreams for her.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Lador vador nagid God lecha. Lador vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation. Lador vador, these lips will praise your name. Lador vador, nagid God lecha. Lador vador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation. Lador vador, these lips will praise your name.
It's my pleasure now to invite our Director of Lifelong Learning, Rabbi Shauna Nair. She has some also nice things to say to you.
Hi. So first, I'm pretty sure that, when Matt and I sat in a classroom at Bethanu more years ago than I care to remember, neither of us ever envisioned this day happening. But it is truly an honor to be on the Bima with you. Every year, during the month of Elul, probably for like the last 3 years in a row, that's the month that precedes Rosh Hashanah. I've participated in something one of my rabbi friends started, which she calls Blog Elul, which means every day during the month of Elul, she throws out a word, and we're supposed to somehow blog about that. And the way I've chosen to do it is I pick a quote based on whatever word she throws out. And the word for the day before Rosh Hashanah is always return, because we're supposed to return sort of to our best selves as we enter this new year. And I always throw out the same quote, which is, throw me to the wolves, and I'll return the leader of the pack. You talked about the fact that this has not been the easiest year for you. I would say you've probably been thrown to the wolves
Yep.
on more than one occasion, right? Oh, good. The rest of the things. So I think, Makenzie, what you have done is you have definitely returned the leader of the pack, and you have taught us that leaders come in all shapes and sizes. you do not love being in front of a group of people. But you don't have to be in front of a group of people to lead. You lead with your strength. You lead with your perseverance. You lead with the fact that you're willing to step out of your comfort zone at times to achieve a goal. And you lead, I watch you lead on Sunday mornings as you walk into a classroom, and you are with our younger learners, and you show them what it is to be a lifelong Jewish learner. You lead in all kinds of ways, and mostly just by being you. So I hope that you remember that quote and know that even at those times when you get thrown to the wolves, you can come back, the leader of the pack. In this envelope are 3 certificates. One is your bat mitzvah certificate. And first of all, it's there so that, if you wake up tomorrow and go, did that really happen? Or did I somehow pass out and just dream it? It really happened. And it is signed by Rabbi Van and I and Brett Shinkman and our president, Lori Rosenberg. And so it says that not only are all of these people who are beaming, I know you don't want to look at them, but I'll tell you that they're beaming. They're super proud of you, but so is your temple community. There are also 2 gift certificates that will get you partially towards Israel. One is from the North American Federation of Temple Youth, and the other one is from the Jewish Education Center, and we hope that you will use them and visit the Jewish homeland and that you will have an incredible experience. So don't lose these envelopes because they're worth money. Additionally, I'm also here pulling double duty today, and I'm here to present to you the gift from Kol Nashim, and on behalf of Kol Nashim, the women of Suburban Temple, and our board of trustees, we have a gift for you, and it is a set. Oh, look, we have fun music to accompany us. God is calling by a cell phone. It's incredible. So it is a set of Shabbat candlesticks, and we hope that you will use them on many Shabbatot in the future, and that each time you do, you will not only think of this day and remember how special it is, but you will think of this day and remember all that you have the ability to accomplish. I wish you Mazel Tov. I want you to know how proud we all are of you, and I hope you feel that pride as well. Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Your parents have some things to share with you, so it's my pleasure to invite your dad, Eric Work, to come forward and share some words with you.
If they do. Oh, here he comes.
Need a copy of it. I got it. Okay.
Good morning. My paper's not cooperating. I would like to thank everyone for their presence here today. I know Mackenzie's been preparing and waiting for this for a long time. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we had to postpone it a couple times. But knowing my daughter today will exceed expectations. Believe me, I waited 9 months for her, and when she was finally here, she more than lived up to the hype. Before she was even old enough to walk, one of the first things people would say about Makenzie was, she marches to the beat of her own drum. And I can go on all day talking about her early years, but we're here today to celebrate the young lady that she's becoming. The path Makenzie chose to all of us being here today and celebrating wasn't chosen because of anyone's expectations or to fit in with friends or siblings. She chose to take this journey because she felt it in her heart that it was something she wanted to do. Sure, she's had some Sunday mornings when she would rather sleep till noon, I'm being generous, probably more like 2 p.m., then get up at 7 to be at Temple for classes. And there was afternoons where she wanted to, instead of playing basketball or tennis with her friends, she stayed home and worked on her Hebrew or had Zoom classes with Miss Wolf. But that's all because Makenzie wants to achieve something. She's not afraid to make sacrifices and work hard for it. Let's face it, when your last aim is work, and I know this from experience, unfairly everyone's expectations rise by 80 to 90%. As much as I've enjoyed watching Makenzie grow into the young woman in front of us today, I look forward to all of the accomplishments ahead. You made me proud to be the father of the most amazing, kind, and wonderful human being on this earth. And I love you. and just look at all the people. I know this probably doesn't work for you. I'll look for you. There's a lot of people out there. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. So to everyone who's helped along the way, Mom, Maddie, Mia, two of the best sisters you could hope for, all your grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, Rabbi Van, and Miss Wolf, who I don't think is able to make it today. Thank you. I just thank you for anyone who's helped contribute to Makenzie on her journey to becoming the young lady that stands here today. You should all be proud, and I truly appreciate and thank you for a job well done. Congratulations, and I love you, guys. Fist ball.
Yeah, fistful.
It's my pleasure to invite Danielle Cicero and Matt. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Look. No. No? Okay.
Sure I am. She doesn't want me to sing. So I'm not going to sing. I'm going to play it instead. All right, well, 2+ years later, and here we are. We all couldn't be more proud of you. I know Grandpa, Uncle Dave, and Uncle Marty are up there watching you now. It has not been an easy road for you the last year, and you came out ahead just as we knew you would. You are so strong, and we are so proud of you. It's not always easy to buckle down and have a lot of change, but you did it with frustration, yes, sometimes. But in the end, beautifully and with grace. As I look out and see how proud of you Madeline is, even though a couple hours ago you were at each other's throats, or was it a couple minutes ago? At the end of the day, you know how much she loves you and will miss you next year. And now that you have come through this and crossed the finish line, it's your turn to guide Mia as she grows into a young lady just like you. You are so lucky to have so much extra support, from grandparents to aunts and uncles to cousins and many more. You told us a few weeks ago you wanted to be a lawyer. I know Uncle Mike isn't here, but I'm sure he can't wait to hear that. You will succeed with that no problem, as Makenzie loves a good argument. Enjoy the rest of your day and weekend. You have put the time in and deserve it. We can't wait to continue to celebrate you. And in the words of Tupac, as you venture on, Makenzie is an old soul. She told me I couldn't sing, so I'm going to play it. There we go.
Oh my god.
Now look out there.
No.
Alright.
We love you, Mazel Tov. Thanks. Maybe because no. Okay.
I chipped off all my polish.
West side.
Are you good?
Up.
Yep. Okay. Guess what?
Am I done?
You can sit down.
Great.
Love it. So Makenzie can sit down. Oh my God, you are like sitting down. Okay. Makenzie can sit down, but I need Lori Bruder and Tom Gerson, Beverly, and Chuck Cicero to help me open the ark as we turn to Aleinu on page 283. Please rise. What? You need to do that. Here. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We will remain standing as we turn to our memorial meditation. Page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember in Shloshim, Dolores Rubin, Bill Nidus, and we mark the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of death that fall on this Shabbat: Robert Bob Bruder, Shirley Dackner, Clarence Dettelbach, Viola S. Deutsch, Hilda Fronthal Gears, David Glassman, Saul S. Goldstein, Dorothy L. Goldston, Leslie A. Groden, Mildred Cohn Gross, Philip D. Harris, Dr. Sidney Herbst, Norman Hyams, Leonard Messer, Florence F. Miller, Bailey I. Ozer, Danley D. Passoff, David Lester Reichel, Gussie S. Rose, Rolinda Schneiderman, Bertha H. Skall, Annie Sternberger, Adeline Loeb Strauss, Meyer Warsowski, Emil Weil, Tina Hubschman-Wieder, Joseph S. Wieder. We turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yid Gadal v'Yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah, B'Alma Divra Hirute B'Amlich Malchute, B'Chaye Echon Uv'Yom Echon, Uv'Chaye Techol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uv'Izman Kari V'Imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Almei Almaya. Yit Barach V'Yit Tabach V'Yit Pa'ar V'Yit Romam V'Yit Naseh. V'yit Hadar V'Yit Haleh V'Yit Halal Shemei Dekudesha Barechu. Le'elam Minkol Birchata V'Shirata. Tush B'chata V'Nechamata. Da'amiran B'Alma V'Imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. Amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to invite Mia to come forward. I think Maddie's going to come help to
And a
offer.
friend too, I think, is coming.
Nope, it just
Yeah.
says Mia.
Well,
Oh, we have additions. This
yeah,
is
we
very.
were plotting before the
Oh, this is
service.
very exciting. Okay. So we are going to, for Kiddush and Motzi. So you can find Kiddush on page 301. You might want to use your book.
Would you say 301? I'm not talking to you. Oh my God. They're not going to be able to see it.
Hold it.
Hold it.
Hold it. You can step over there so she can be seen. Okay, that's fine.
Let me do it.
Go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
You do the English for people.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Give me that. Okay, take a piece.
Falafel hunk.
You can have some too.
Cool, because I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good look.
So there is something that we need to say, which is Mazel Tov.
Mazel tov.
So let's all stand up and say Mazel Tov.
Mazel tov. Simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, Yehelanu. Simmen tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, Yehelanu. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulekol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulekol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulekol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulekol Yisrael. Simmen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, mazel tov, simmen tov, Yehelanu.
Mazel Tov means congratulations. Makenzie, congratulations. I think you're ready for lunch.
I'm so hungry.
All right. Our service is concluded. Mazel Tov to Makenzie.
Mazel tov.